Okay, so let's talk about energy. I saw quite a bit of negativity directed towards it, and I want to clear some things up and why, in my opinion, the energy change is not only beneficial to free-to-play players, or rather not just whales, but free-to-play players as well, because not only do you get a little bit more overall, which I'll explain in a second, you also get like the freedom to choose what you farm. So first of all, what even is this whole energy thing for those who aren't playing in Korea? So instead of having separate entries for stuff like Caiross Dungeon, Path of Growth, Expeditions and repeater quests, you now have one main currency called energy, I believe, right? Yep. And you basically are able to stock up to 300 energy in total, and it is recharged once every 7 minutes. This means that in order to fill up the whole 300 storage from zero, you will actually require around 35 hours, which first of all is one decent change in my opinion, because you're not forced to log in every day. If you clear your energy on, let's say, an evening of the previous day, you're able to not log in the next day at all, and the day after that, if you log in the morning, by then your energy will be somewhere around full. So that is an amazing step towards like allowing people to just skip a day if needed, like for rest, if you're going away or whatever, that not being forced to play the game that much. Now the way the refreshes work will also be changed a bit. So instead of having separate refreshes for each dungeon, you'll have now a main refresh for energy. Each refresh will give you 60 energy, and the more you refresh per day, the higher the cost will go. So as you can see on the screen here, first refresh will be 100, second one 200, third one 250, the next three will be 300, then 350, 400, 450, and after the 10th refresh, all future refreshes will be 500 crystals each. So I've done some calculations on how this would work, and first of all I wanted to see whether you are still able to do the same stuff that you've done with free entries every day when compared to energy. And second of all, I wanted to see the refresh values, whether like they're worse or they're better or stuff like that. So previously you had 6 free Path of Growth entries, 3 free Essence Dungeon entries, 2 Expedition entries and 20 repeat request tickets. Now if you convert these to energy values, so Path of Growth and Essence Dungeons are 10 energy each, Expedition costs 30 to enter and repeat requests cost 8. But now the repeat request had some changes where if you're doing the XP repeat request, for example, it costs 4 times more, but you also get 4 times the rewards. For gold, it's 2 times the rewards, but it also costs 2 times more. So basically to equal out all of the repeat requests to cost for repeat tickets. And if you look at the energy equivalent costs of that, so 6 free Path of Growth entries would mean that the entries would cost 60 energy in total. 3 Essence Dungeon tickets at 10 each would cost 30 energy, 2 Expedition entries would cost 60 energy, and 5 repeat requests, because you get 20 but you need 4 per repeat, so that means you're basically able to enter it 5 times and the new cost is 8, which would mean it basically costs 40 energy equivalent. And that puts you in total of 190 energy per day that you receive for free. However, since the energy regions said, once every 7 minutes, if we take the amount of hours there are, we increase by minutes and we divide by 7, you'll notice that the amount of free energy you get per day is just above 200, somewhere around 205 to 206. So in that point, overall, as a sort of no spender at all, you are getting a tiny bit more energy than you would with just the free entries. And the good thing about that is you are actually able to choose where you're spending them. For example, you have 200 energy, maybe you want to do 7 expeditions. You're not forced to do any other dungeon. You can just choose which one you like the most. For example, For me, I have like 5,000 of each colored essence. I have like 15,000 of magic essences. I was doing that, what are called, essence dungeons, just because I get the free entries, but honestly I wouldn't mind skipping them, and if I am able to skip them for an additional expedition entry or like 3 Path of Growth entries, honestly that just seems like a good thing for me. And now what it would look like if you were refreshing your entries. So I've noted the costs of each refresh for someone, for example, who would be doing full refreshes, right? So for Path of Growth, there are 4, you get 3 for 50, 3 for 150, 3 for 200, and another 3 for 200. For Essence Dungeons, it's 100 for 3, 150 for 3, and 200 for 3. For Expeditions, these one quite expensive, so 200 for 2, 300 for 2, and 400 for 2. And for the Repeater Quest, you get 150 for 20 tickets, but these are basically 5 entries, so it's the same as getting 40 energy. 300 and 450, and in total, every day, if you refreshed all dungeons, it would cost you 2,850 crystals. Now, if we look at the energy equivalent of that, all of these, including the free entries, would require you a total of 700 energy. So what would it cost to get that equivalent of energy? So first of all, you know we're getting 200 free energy. We're gonna round it up to 200, I won't include the 5, it's whatever, you may miss it like by a few minutes. So let's leave that alone. To get the remaining 500, you would need to get 9 refreshes, because 9 refreshes times 60 energy would give you 540, so basically you're getting 500 plus you're getting that 40 extra, and in total 9 refreshes up until this point will cost you a total of 2,650 crystals. So even if you are someone who is refreshing every single dungeon today, in the end, using the energy system, you will be getting all of those refreshes 200 crystals cheaper, and on top of that you are getting 45 extra energy for free. So in turn it's more like closer to 350, maybe even 400 energy or other crystals cheaper. So my overall thoughts on this, I would say I really like the energy system. I know that one bad thing it does is it removes the ability to save tickets, especially Path of Growth tickets and Essence tickets, using the Repeater Quest, because those Repeater Quests are getting completely removed, and the only ones that are left will be like the Secret Dungeon, Gold, XP, Arena, and there is now a new one that gives like Faint Core, those little square items, right, that you need for books and all of that jazz. So it's a shame you can't stack tickets anymore, but having this in mind, overall the energy system will be a tiny bit cheaper and it'll allow you to farm what you want. But one tip that I would give you to prepare for the update is try to stock up as many tickets as you can, because as you know, previously some of the events, especially the ones that are limited, people were struggling with 2 particular quests. One of them is the Arena one. Unfortunately, no changes to Arena, so you will probably still struggle with that. The second change is the Expedition one. Previously, Expeditions were super expensive, and as you can see, to complete all 3 refreshes per day, you would need 900 crystals. How you can substitute that is by starting to farm tickets right now. The good thing is you only need to start farming one type of ticket, because with the energy you are no longer limited to entering both dungeons. You can, for example, enter with energy into only Essence dungeons and use Path of Growth tickets to enter into those using the tickets themselves. So there's no need to hoard both of them. Hoard the one that you like more, or the one that provides the other resources you need more. For example, if you're crafting outfits, go for essences. If you're crafting, or like if you need Breath of Lives, go for the Path of Growth, and so on and so on. And once you have those tickets, the way you can really make your events cheaper is by getting rid of those more expensive refreshes. So even with the energy system, as you can see, the refreshes will be quite expensive. So every time you save a certain amount of tickets, instead of basically paying for all of these refreshes, each ticket will essentially take away from the most expensive option. So for example, if you have 3 Path of Growth tickets saved, you don't save 50 crystals, you actually save 200 crystals, because you are still able to reset for those cheap amounts via the crystal refresh option, and you're cutting back on those most expensive ones. So for example, if you save Path of Growth tickets, you will be able to use cheap refreshes for example, Expedition, and you can substitute the Path of Growth requirements with tickets. So slowly they will get used up, but in the end, if you save some tickets right now, and I do recommend prioritizing this before the update comes out. I personally have a lot saved, I haven't used too many. I have like over 1,000 of each. And by substituting those tickets, you will be able to cut back on those very expensive like Expedition refreshes, repeat request refreshes, and all of that. And yeah, that's about it for this one. Just a quick talk. Probably no video tomorrow as I will be away, but expect one on Monday with a new monster video. And yeah, peace.